Abnai Yahweh Shakata. Black thing?
No, black color. The cushion.
More than one? Oh. Abnai Yahweh Hashem Masak Yahushua brought the thumb to all Akim. Abnai Yahweh Hashem Masak Yahushua Shema a thumb to all Akwathia. All right, to all the sisters. All, right, all praises and blessings for the Most High Yah over you all. Most High bless brought you here safely to take part in the Shabbat service with the light of your home. It's truly a blessing to be here in this time and keep Shabbat with all of you. We're going to go into the portion of Noach, which is Noah in the English Translation Bible. So we're going to pick it up with Genesis 6 and 9 to Genesis 11:32. That's Genesis 6 and 9 to Genesis 11:32. Of course, Genesis in the Hebrew is Bereshit, which means the beginning. All right, the beginning.
Genesis 6, verse 9.
Hold on, quick, go there. Give me Colossians 3, verse 17.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
Right, always giving thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, who reigns and ruleth forever over all the dwelling of the planet Earth. All right, so now let's get Genesis.
Genesis 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah.
Right.
Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations.
Right, so we could start right there. It said Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. Okay, what can make someone perfect? What can make you perfect? Anil. Follow the laws. Why? Why the law? How will the law make me perfect? What is it about the law that makes you perfect? Says, is what? Not what you do with the law to make. What is it about the law that will make you perfect? What is it about the law that would make you perfect? How about the brothers? Sisters answering questions. Brothers is still sleeping? Huh? What does that one? Does it? Not necessarily do that. That's not what it does. It does in your actions, yeah. Right? Walking upright, almost. To that one?
Looking for one word.
One word. Huh? What is it about the law that makes you perfect? Oh, you got it. Huh? Okay, it will make you righteous if you keep the law. But what is it about the law that makes you perfect? Give me every other word but perfect. You got a precept. I know you're holding it. Because it was a promise? No? Should I? Covenant? Good word. Samuel. Obedience, good word too. Still not it though. Huh? Holy. Holy. Go ahead. Sanctified. Well, all good words. All right, let's get the scripture.
Psalms 19, verse 7.
That's right. I ain't had to call the scripture. I ain't had to call it. Read that.
Psalms 19, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
The law of the Most High is perfect.
That's why it makes you perfect. Because the law itself is perfect. Right? How are you going to get perfect unless you use something perfect to make you perfect? Right? Anybody want to draw a straight line? What do they go get? A what? They get a ruler or something that has what? A straight edge. Because you can't draw it freehand. Well, some people are talented, they probably could, right? But you need something perfect so your line would be perfect. That's why we go to the Lord. The Lord brings us to perfection. Why? Because the law itself is perfect. Read it again.
Psalms 19, verse 7.
Come on.
The law of the Most High is perfect.
Come on.
Converting the soul.
Doing what?
Converting the soul.
What does it mean to convert? Change. Change your life. When the Lord came, your life should have changed drastically. If the Lord came to your life and you never really changed, something wrong, man. Right? You're not taking this law off. The law is supposed to change your life, your mind, your thoughts, everything drastically. It converts your soul, changes your life. Okay? You can't read this law. You can go to church and be the same. Because they just say, just call on the name of Jesus and continue doing what you were doing. When you come to this law, you got to be perfect to follow after it. It's going to bring you to perfection. It's going to bring a change about it. Converting the soul, read on.
Converting the soul. The testimony of Yah is sure.
Right.
Making wise the simple.
Right. You went from a simple mind to a wise mind. Right. Before you knew the commandments of the Most High, you were simple. Huh? That's one thing you gotta always admit. Before the Most High came, damn, was I simple. What was I even thinking? But the Most High come with his law, statute, commandments, and now you're wise. You're thinking on a higher level. All right, you're processing your thoughts on a higher level. Read.
The statutes of Yah are right, rejoicing the heart.
Come on.
The commandment of the Most High is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Come on.
The fear of the Most High is clean, enduring forever.
Read.
The judgments of Yah are true and righteous altogether.
That's it. The Most High be rhyming. All right, let's get Timothy's now. Timothy's 3:16. We can start at 3:15. Timothy's 3:15. 2 Timothy's 3:15. 2 Timothy's 3:15.
2 Timothy, reading verse 15. And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures.
Have known what?
The Holy Scriptures.
From a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures. So he's talking to Timothy, Paul. And from a child he knew the Holy Scripture. What Holy Scriptures? What scriptures did they have at that time? They had the law. So he's telling him, from a child, you knew the Holy Scripture, you knew the law. Read on.
Which are able to make thee wise unto salvation,
right, through
faith, which is in a Mashiach Yahushua.
Right. So the law will make you wise to salvation if you have faith in the Mashiach Yahushua. See? They both, you got to have both. Okay. Now you walk in that walk towards perfection because you got the Mashiach Yahushua and you got the laws. Right? Read on.
All scripture is given by inspiration of Yah.
Come on.
And is profitable for doctrine.
Read.
For reproof.
Come on.
For correction.
Come on.
For instruction in righteousness.
Read on.
That the man of Yah may be perfect.
May be what?
May be perfect.
So what do you need to be perfect now? Let's try this again. What did it stand for? You can't repeat back what I gave you, ready? We got past that part. You got to have the law. But what else do you need? Along with the law, what do you need? That's it. Once you got the faith in the Mashiach Yahushua and you got the law, you're on the road to perfection. That's it. It's not that complicated. Okay? 3 scriptures. It's not complicated. Father mapped it out. Okay, he mapped it out for us in the scriptures. You want to be perfect, this is how you be perfect. And the Father told us to be perfect, and I'm going to prove that to you also. Okay, let's read that 17th verse again.
That the man of Yah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
Thoroughly furnished unto all good works, able to do righteousness of the Most High. Okay? Able to be righteous in the sight of the Most High Yah. Let's get Matthew 5. Right to read 48 verse first. Right to the point.
Matthew 5 and 48. Be ye therefore perfect.
Be what?
Be ye therefore perfect.
You're just saying, be ye therefore perfect. Be perfect. Somebody says nobody's perfect. That's an excuse to doing wickedness. And somebody catch you doing something like, well, nobody's perfect. No, before you say, you repent and say, I messed up. Salakia, I fell short. I did the wrong thing. The defense is, well, nobody's perfect. That ain't no defense. Because the scriptures say, be ye perfect. You have every opportunity to be perfect. Whether you take it or not, that's up to you. Right? But don't be running behind, well, nobody perfect. Only God is perfect. That's excuses that we make for being wicked. Okay, you can be perfect. Why? Because the scriptures say, be ye perfect. Okay, read that verse again.
Matthew 5 and 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right, you're supposed to be Christ-like. Right? They say I'm Christ-like. You're supposed to be that way. You're supposed to hold a God ahead. I mean, you're supposed to walk in the way of the Most High, right? And He's perfect. So how can you be so eager to not be perfect? Okay. We have to strive for perfection. All right. That's our job. The Father laid it out before us how to be perfect. He gave us perfect examples in the scripture. Who other than Noah was perfect in the scripture? That's right. Job was perfect. Okay. So we know perfection is possible. Come. Me 2 Samuel 22:31. Second Samuel 22:31.
Second Samuel 22:31. As for the Most High, His way is perfect. The word of Yah is tried. He is a buckler for all them that trust in Him.
What's a buckler? Who knows what a buckler is? What warrior is that? What's a buckler? Huh? Looks like a belt. But what it connect to? Yeah, it's almost. Somebody look at the word buckler. When we read scripture, we got to know what we're saying. Somebody Google the word buckler. There's an old movie that we all saw. I mean, those of us that's my generation, is called Braveheart. Huh? What you got?
Buckler, a small round shield held by a handle or worn on the forearm.
That's right. It's a small shield, a buckler. So when you fighting, you use that buckler to defend yourself. All right, you swing with the sword in this hand and you block with the buckler. All right, you block and swing. That's how you get through the battle. All right, if you don't swing, you ain't gonna make it too far. If you don't block, you're gonna lose your head. All right, remember, you're in a battle, you're in a fight. Right? It's a spiritual battle. So you got your buckler and your sword. All right? So he said the Lord is a buckler, meaning you defend yourself with the Lord and Most High. When people ask you why you do what you do, because you're doing something different, you go to the Lord of the Heavenly Father and say, thus saith the Most High. That's why. What are you doing worshiping on Saturday? You know what I mean? We having a barbecue. Why can't you come through? Here come the buckler. Bam! Here come the Lord. Thus saith the Most High. That 6 days shall do all our work, but the 7 days is Sabbath. Okay. That's your defense. Okay. So let's go back to 2 Samuel. You pick it up, 22:31.
2 Samuel 22 and 31. As for the Most High, his way is perfect. The word of Yah is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him.
Come on.
For who is Yah, save the Most High? And who is a rock, save our power?
Right. Who is the power? Save the Most High. Who has the power with the Most High? Most High has the power. Okay. It said, who is a rock? Save the Most High. Who's stronger than the Most High? Who's going to defend you harder than the Most High? All right, read on.
God is my strength and power, and he maketh my way perfect.
He maketh my way what?
My way perfect.
He maketh my way perfect. It can't get any straighter than that. So anybody tell you can't be perfect, they're supposed to have a pile of scriptures on their head, proving them otherwise. But just in case they're still not proven, give me Psalms 37:37. Psalm 37:37.
Psalms 37, verse 37. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright.
Right.
For the end of that man is peace.
There it is, man. Mark the perfect man, behold the upright. Because the end of that man is peace, man. People think about perfection, they get stressed. It's not stress to be perfect. Ain't no stress in being perfect. It's peace. Because you know why you do what you do. That's what makes you perfect. You have laws, statutes, commandments that support the decisions that you're making. You eliminate error. The scriptures say we err not knowing the scriptures. So we err because we don't what? We're ignorant to what the Father said, or we don't want to follow what the Father said. But if we follow what he said, listen, we on a path of perfection. You what? Oh no. You need that? All right, see what we can do. Oh, hold on. All right. Let me get one more. Hebrews 13 and 20. Hebrews 13 and 20.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 20. Now the Most High of peace that brought again from the dead are out of one Yahushai, that great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of the everlasting covenant, make you perfect in every good work to do his will, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight, through Yahushai, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen.
It's like it. I got you. Read it again, slide. 13:20.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 20. Now the Most High of peace that brought again from the dead our outer one, Yahushai, that great shepherd of the sheep,
Come on.
through the blood of the everlasting covenant, make you perfect.
Make you what?
Make you perfect.
Right, Yahushai and the Lord makes you perfect. But you say, mark the perfect man. Who's that? Yahushai. Okay? And he can make you perfect. The blood of Yahushua puts us on the path of perfection. Okay, read on.
In every good work.
In every good work. Read on.
To do his will, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight.
So what's the Most High's will? What's his will? Zion. That's right. Psalms 40 and 8. That's how that question is answered. Psalms 40 and 8. That tells you what the will of the Heavenly Father is. Read that. Psalms 40 and 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 40, verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O Yahweh. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
I delight to do thy will, yea, the law is within my heart. So the law of the Most High is his will. So that's how you answer that question. The will of the Heavenly Father is the law. Chef Sean. Say it again. Well, you can say blameless, but we're dealing with perfection. So, is blameless perfect? No, close don't count. All right, so let's get back to Genesis. Okay, you can't slide blameless in there. We deal with blameless, we can deal with blameless. Right now, we're dealing with perfection. Because you know what? Even the perfect get blamed. Blameless is more of a reputation than anything. So pick it up with Genesis. Pick it up with Genesis. Genesis 6. No, we're at 6 and 10. Or read 9 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in the sight in his generation. And Noah walked with Yahweh. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right.
The earth also was corrupt before Yahweh.
Right.
And the earth was filled with violence.
That's right. So the earth was corrupt and filled with violence. What brings forth this violence? What brings forth violence? Why is our neighborhoods filled with violence? When does violence come about, man? Envy, jealousy. Somebody said money. Okay. All right. Hold on and give me Romans 6 and verse 23.
The book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
Is what?
Is death.
The wages of sin is death. The reason why we got so much violence, so much death, is because we have so much sin. All right? Sin brings forth bloodshed. Okay. That's what brings forth bloodshed. Sin. If it wasn't so much sin, there wouldn't be so much bloodshed. If there wasn't so much sin, there wouldn't be so much envy and jealousy and the love of money. Right? But ultimately, it all comes from what? The sinful behavior that we practice. Our people practice. Which brings forth violence, which brings forth death. Okay? So the earth was full of what? Violence and death and sin. But Noah was what? Perfect and walked with Yah. So he kept what? The commandments of Yah. That's what made Noah different than everybody else on the earth. Because he kept Yah's commandments. He had faith in the Most High power. Okay, he was walking in those times uprightly. In comparison to what? The majority of the earth. Right? Just like today. How many people, keeping Shabbat the right way? All right? So sometimes you got to look at that as a precedent. If you're the only one calling on the Most High, so you might be in a situation, in a room full of people, and you're the only one calling on the Most High Yah. You're the only one keeping the commandments. You know what? Just like Noah was. Right? But Noah in his house was keeping those commandments. Okay? All right?
Just to bring it up on a modern time.
Yeah.
This is the New York, this is the Time magazine, and what is it entitled? Hate in America.
Right.
Okay, so this is showing you that history and the Bible is, the Bible is everlasting. Okay, we see that it's repeating itself. Also, they also have this Time magazine, all the tragedies, that hit America, and the last one being what? Las Vegas. Okay, so for years they have glorified Las Vegas as what? Sin City.
Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
So this particular time, it didn't stay in Vegas. This thing went worldwide.
It's in Vegas this time.
Why? Let me get one piece. Give me Romans 11. Let me show you why this is happening. Because the Most High, he sat back for a long time to the point where Esau looked at what? If there is a God, he must be white because they get away with all these things. You understand? But the Most High is long suffering. But now he is recompensing America for all the sins. Give me Romans 11. And 17. Romans 9 and 17. So
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 17.
come on.
For the scriptures say unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
So who is Pharaoh?
King.
Pharaoh
King of
is
the Egyptians. King of the Egyptians.
Okay, and America is known as what? It's known as what? Modern day Egypt. Right? So read that again.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 17.
Come on.
For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
So the Most High, he raised up Pharaoh over Egypt. Okay? Prior to the Most High showing his mighty power, Pharaoh was what? He was the greatest thing, the most powerful person that lived.
Right.
So the Most High made him that way. Because to the people, to mankind, he seemed what? Invincible, that nobody can beat him. So the Most High raised him up to this power that what ultimately that he was going to bring him down. But read that again.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 17.
Come on.
For the scriptures say unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up,
Come on.
that I might show my power.
That what?
That I might show my power.
Right, that the Most High is going to show his power. Okay? Just like he's doing in his last days. America's like what? It's like a woman in travail. Okay, before a woman gives birth to a baby, what happens? She has all these labor pains. Okay, so America's experiencing all these tragedies. Okay, you just had this Hurricane Irma. Okay, thousands of houses that were destroyed. Okay, as I'm driving around Miami, trees have been for years uplifted out of the ground. Okay, and what they teach people, oh, that's just Mother Nature. No, that's not Mother. That's the judgment from the Almighty God. Okay, the power of Abraham and Jacob. Hold on. Read on.
Indeed, and that my name might be declared throughout all earth.
That what?
That might be. That my name might be declared throughout all earth.
Right. So right now, it's people have everybody have all these different names, the Most High, different religions. You know, even within the Hebrew community, you have different pronunciations. Okay, but ultimately, in the last leg of this thing, all things are going to be revealed. As we speak, North Korea, they're getting ready for war. While our people are still trying to make it in America. Okay, I was looking at this something with Snoop Dogg. He said, "I'm going to make America crip walk again." Okay, you see all this stuff going on in the world, and all you can think about is making America crip walk. And these are people that have the ability, that have the platform to educate our people, okay, and using it for wickedness. Why would they give us a platform like that? They're not going to do that. Okay, every time Snoop Dogg, every time they come out with a slave movie, he wants to protest. The last time they came out with that, the making of a nation, he was upset. He was ranting and raving. He was smoking a split on YouTube or whatever. But they have the money, the resources to make a movie.
Right.
But what does he do? He makes some trap movies, okay, with drug dealers and women dressing provocative, and you know, this is what he does with his money. But he's complaining that someone else makes a movie. He said, if I see one more slave movie, then turn your TV off. Okay, just like that movie they did when what's that one? The Easy what was that movie? Compton. Trailer Compton. You tell me all those guys, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, they didn't have the money to put that movie out. They let Esau produce that movie and make all the money off of it, off of their life story. Okay, showing you that that's why the minister said what? Before we came into this knowledge, we were what? We were simple. Okay, Master P, his son is about to do a movie on his life, but what? The son is putting out the money. You see? Master P was always, when it came to money and all that, he was always on top of his game. When all these guys were signing all these contracts, what was he doing? Selling seeds out of the back of his car. Okay, so now he don't owe anybody. Okay, so we got to come to the wisdom and understanding of the Most High to be what? To be perfect. And by us applying this Bible, which is what? A blueprint, okay, we are able to navigate through the system. It's not easy out there. A lot of people that make it today, they probably, letting their troubles, burning them down on the Shabbat, when this day should be severed from the rest of the week, from your troubles, everything that you were going through this week, what you were dealing with, what you were thinking about, okay, it should be put aside on this day. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, forget about your troubles. But we're here to praise the Most High. See, our people are too caught up in this setup, and we keep talking about waiting for your hour shot. Okay, that's why the scripture says, "Is Israel homeborn slave?" As long as we stay here in America, we're going to continue to be mixed up in what's going on in this world. How many of our people from the West Indies, from Haiti, different islands say, "Well, I'm going to come to America, I'm going to work a couple of years, I'm going to go back home." Yeah, it never happens. Never happens. Okay, so this is not our right. So let's go back home. Go back to Genesis. So the Most High, he's raising up. He raised up Egypt. He's raising up America for what? A final fall. Okay. That's why it says that the people they're going to be weeping and mourning in that day that America is taken down. Because why? America has been what? A big brother to all these nations throughout the years. So they're not going to know what to do when America is taken down. But we got to get ourselves right. Okay, the time is near. Most High said he's going to start in his sanctuary. Right. Who's the Most High sanctuary? Huh? Who's the Most High sanctuary? Who's his house? Who's the Most High's house? Israel. Right? So what? Judgment is going to begin in Israel. We keep talking about what the Most High is going to do to the nations. What is he going to do to rebellious 2/3 of Israel? that don't want to come back to the Lord, statutes, commandments, and law. Their life, their destiny is already set. They're going in captivity. We're the ones that should be striving for some type of leadership, some type, some glory in the kingdom. Don't just strive for the 1/3, strive for 144,000. Okay? If you have a gift, a talent, magnify that gift. Let the Most High be glorified. Don't just have a gift and nobody knows about it. Okay? The Most High gives you a gift for a reason, so what? So he can be glorified. He say, wow, he has a gift for the Most High. Not for your own vainglory, but for the Most High to be glorified. If you look at all these singers, look at Whitney Houston, all these people that say, where do they start out at? In the church. They start out in church. But what happened? They drifted away from the Most High, and the Most High took it away from them. See? The Most High gives you this gift so you can glorify His name. Okay? Not for vanity, not for vainglory, but to praise Him. So we got to understand that. We got to understand the power that we serve. Okay? So go back to Genesis.
You got a lot of young brothers rapping, and making music. And, that's why it's important that you can put that music out there that is reflecting the Most High. You ain't putting that music out there talking about your rims or your car or your girlfriend or something like that. We're going to put that music out there to talk about the nation, Israel, the Most High, the upliftment, the commandments, the times we're living in, what we got to do. There's a lot to talk about, right? The nation is growing. Most High is doing a lot of work in here. He's giving us a lot of material, all right? So we're going to bring this music out. We got to bring it out glorifying Him, all right? The work He's doing in us. Come? Let's continue. Genesis
6, verse 13, 11. The earth also was corrupted for Yah.
Right.
And the earth was filled with violence.
Right. So there was sin and killing and all kind of wickedness going on earth, sort of like it is today.
And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth.
Come on.
And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me.
Come on.
For the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Come on.
Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within, and without the slot, and without, and shall pitch it within, and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish in above.
All right, so this is a pretty big vessel. This is not a small. How long is a cubit? Who remembers? Alaka? From your longest finger to your elbow, and on an average man, about how long is that?
18 inches.
About 18 to 20 inches on an average man, right? Of course, if you're a basketball player, it's probably like 2 feet, okay? But if you're just the average height man, it's about 20 inches, 18 to 20 inches, okay? So if the breadth thereof is 300 cubits, you could roughly say that's about 600 feet. Okay, so just give you an idea. If the height thereof is 50 cubits, you could roughly say that's 100 feet high. So it lets you know this was not a small vessel. Everybody see that? Right now, if you go to the cruise liners, they bigger than this. But they do have cruise liners that are about this size. They also have ones that's even bigger than this. So just to give you an idea, but a lot of people, they want to discredit the scriptures by saying things are not realistic. They're not realistic because you haven't done the math. But if you do the math, you say, you know what? That was a pretty big vessel. Okay. to house all these creatures that's going to be in the vessel. Right? It wasn't a small boat with all these creatures on it. All right. Read on.
16. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
Wow.
Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, with every creeping thing of the earth after his kind.
So why he made male and female? So they can reproduce. Okay? That's how we reproduce. That's how flesh reproduces. Male and female. There's no other reproduction going on within flesh. All right, you got to have a woman to reproduce. Everybody understand that? All right, it's got to be a male and a woman. All right. Samuel. Matthew 19:4. You made male and female? Okay.
Right, but see what the Most High set up here in Bereshit? This is the Genesis beginning. What do they do? Mommy, mama, and me.
Right.
Okay? So the Most High, he said that you need a male and female to reproduce. Right? But what does they say? Heather has 2 mommies. Okay? So this is what they're teaching in the education system right now. So that's why I said the earth was corrupt. So we see that what? America is a replica of ancient Egypt, ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? All these kingdoms that were what? Contrary to laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh, that ultimately were what? They were brought down. The Most High destroyed. Just like the Most High is going to destroy, okay, America by the hands of his people. He said we're going to be his battle axe and weapons of war.
That's right. Breaking pieces the nations.
Right, so that's what we're looking at these last days. So all we got to do is
Turn down the volume on the mic.
right, is continue to apply this law, statutes, and commandments. That we are made worthy to be vessels of the Most High.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that we are worthy to be vessels in these last days. That we are not destroyed alongside our enemies. Okay, because again, 2/3 of our people are not going to make it. Okay, 2/3 of our people are not going to make it. So the Most High, he had a plan. He said what? He said it had to be male and female to reproduce. But what do they do now? They have all these sperm plates, and women can go into a lab, and she can pick sperm inside of the sperm bank. And behind that sperm bottle, they have the father. They have his IQ, how tall he is,
Eye color.
eye color.
You know.
Okay, all these they have it. You know.
Test tube babies. They used to be a joke. Now it's real. Ain't no joke no more. They making their babies in test tubes.
We talked about that years ago. People laughed at us.
Yeah. Now it's becoming mainstream. They want certain women don't want a husband a lot of times. They just want a child. So they say, well, I don't want no husband. I want a child though. And they go to these places. They go to these banks, sperm bank, and they get, they go through the catalog and they decide what they want, how they want their child to most likely come out. And they do a test tube baby. Right? That's the new way. Right? Contrary to the Heavenly Father. Right? Thing that we thought was, a joke or impossible is now mainstream. Okay. So we got to understand that the height of the wickedness These are all examples of the wickedness of this earth coming to a head, coming to a height where the Most High is going to bring it down. So here, in times past, Noah, you got male and female, so what? So they can reproduce. All right, read on.
19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the...
No, not 19 yet.
You got 19.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive.
Read.
And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten.
Of all what?
All food that is eaten.
He said, take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten. So now he just made a distinction. First he said, bring all the animals, male and female. Then he said, take of thee of all food that is eaten. So then what? There were some animals that were not to be eaten, okay? And then there were certain animals that was to be eaten. All right, read on.
And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be food for thee and for them.
Right.
Thus did Noah, according to all that the Most High commanded him, so did he.
Read.
7th chapter. And the Most High said unto Noah, come thou and all the house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
Right, because the reason why he saved Noah, because why? Noah was righteous. Right? The reason why any of us are going to obtain salvation if we live righteously. You can't be living according to the rudiments of this world thinking we're going to obtain salvation. Or they got some people walking around saying they're saved already. And they're still in this captive state, in this wicked kingdom. All right, read on.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens.
By what?
By sevens.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take by sevens. What does it mean by clean? Say without blemish. Just that's it. That part of the hoof and chew of the cut. That's what it means. Hold that. Get out of Revelation. Get out of Leviticus 11.
I know the sister's on the road today.
It's on the road, man.
I don't know what's going on.
Leviticus 11:10.
No, 11:1.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat, among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud, among the beasts that shall ye eat.
Right, come on.
Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof.
Right. So in this chapter, he goes through what we can eat and what we cannot eat. Jump down to the 46th verse. He goes through all the categories of animals and says what can be eaten, what cannot be eaten. Birds in the skies and the waters and everything. Noah knew this already. He had this understanding. That's why he told him take 7 of the clean. Why? So he can what? So he can eat. Read. Verse 46.
Verse 46. This is the law of the beast and of the fowl and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth.
Come on.
To make a difference between the unclean and the
You
clean.
see that? To make a difference between the unclean and the clean. So it wasn't a blemish on the animal. It was what? Can you eat it or you can't eat it? That's what clean and unclean means. Can I either eat it or can I not eat it? Is it edible? Is it not edible? Clean or unclean? Okay, that's what it means. Right? There's certain plants that are edible, there's some that's not edible. Right? That's going to make you sick. Okay, so this is what they were learning here in Leviticus 11, and this Noah already knew before Moses gave the law. Moses wasn't even a thought yet. Right, we're going to back from the beginning. So that shows you that the law existed before Moses gave the law. Everybody understand that? The law already existed at the time of Noah. It existed at the time of Adam. Okay, read.
And between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten.
All right, so let's go back to Genesis 7.
Genesis 7, verse 3. Fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth.
Come on.
For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Most High commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when a flood of waters was upon the earth.
Right, so he said he could destroy every living thing off the face of the earth that was not in the ark. Okay, so the Father, when he threatens to destroy off the face of the earth, he mean it. Okay, he mean it. All right, hold that and give me Amos 9 and 8. Most High don't do no idle threats. We read the history, we know that flood came. Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of Yahweh are upon the simple kingdom,
right?
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
I'm going to destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay. Just like he destroyed it in the time of Noah. He's going to destroy this kingdom from off the face of the earth and all its wickedness. Okay. His eye is upon the sinful nation. A nation that's what? Full of sin. That's what sinful means. I mean that you're full of sin. If you break the commandment of the Most High, but you keep the laws, but you fall short, you break the commandment, are you sinful? Right? You're not sinful. Don't believe that hype when the church is trying to teach you all sinful people. No, we're not all sinful. You sinful if you're full of sin. But if you keep the commandments of the Most High, yeah, you fall short. You might break the commandment here and there, but you ain't sinful. You ain't sinning all the time. That's somebody that's sinning all the time. That's the sinful. Everybody understand that? Right, so we got to pay attention to the words that we say. Okay, they have you believe we all sinful. Everybody ain't sinful. No, you sinful. All right. Do I sin? God, I sin. I'm not sinful. I keep Torah. I keep the commandments. All right. Keep the Shabbat holy. Keep the dietary law. Try to keep the ceremonial law, the moral laws. You won't find envy and strife in me. You won't find malice. These are the things that you got to check yourself on. How am I keeping these laws? Okay. Or am I sinful? All right, so now, let's go back. No, we're in Genesis. Go ahead, continue in Genesis. Go back to Genesis.
Genesis 7 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into an ark, because of the waters of the flood.
Right, come on.
Of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of every living thing, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth.
Right, so there's more proof there that Noah understood the clean and unclean. He had a dietary law. All right, read on.
There went in two and two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as the Most High had commanded Noah.
Right.
And it came to pass after 7 days, and the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the foundations, so that all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened.
Right, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up. Meaning that what? The water was rising on the earth. Okay? You know, and the water was falling from the sky, and the water was rising from the earth. Okay? There's fountains and there's water under the earth. Everybody understand that? So the water was being brought out of the earth. They have something called springs. Anybody heard of springs? What state is that? I got to remember springs. I think it's Yellowstone, right? And geysers and springs. They got some in Florida too when you go up towards Clearwater, Zephyr Hill, Ocala. All right, so we have springs. So there's water in the earth. Right? When you see the dew, a lot of times that's the water rising from what? In the earth. So what happened in this time period, not only was it raining coming from the skies, it was also coming up from the earth. All right, all the water, Most High caused the water to come up from the earth and cover the dry land. Okay. A lot of people, you know, they read this and they think, how's a storm going to cover the whole earth? Right? They're not thinking what the scriptures say. He's saying, I let the springs, I let the fountains, I released them from in the earth. So that means water was coming up out of the earth and down upon the earth. Everybody understand that? So when you get a mental picture of water coming from both directions, covering the earth. All right, read.
And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And the sun sank day into Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives and his sons with them into the ark.
Right. So 40 days, it was just coming down and coming up. Okay. Prior to this event, there was never a rain like that on the earth. Okay. So people are carrying on doing their madness, and here comes the Most High with his judgment. All right. Hold this and get our Matthews 25. That's the days of Noah. It's like in 24:36. Matthew 24:36.
Matthew 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man,
Right?
no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
Right. What day is it talking about? The day of the Most High visitation. Even in the time of Noah, Noah knew what was going down. Right? People ain't know what was going down. They was carrying on in their wickedness, partying it up, being violent, being corrupt, being wicked. Noah knew what's up. Noah built that up. Okay. Read on.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, married and giving in marriage.
Right. So they were eating, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage. They were just living life, man. Just like how people live life today. They had no cares, no fears. Right? They got no worries. Huh? They wasn't worried about the Most High, about the sin they was committing. That wasn't on their mind. Huh? Read on.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
And that day came, and Noah said, all right, he's going to, can you imagine them watching them? And he finally going in that ark. That man crazy. Put on that big boat. Where he going? They got animals going in there too. You know, Israel think you crazy. So you do something different. It's what to do. You crazy. Yeah, he crazy. I think how he built in that boat. I don't know what's going on with him. And he's partying up, living life. He went in that to the day he entered into that ark and brought those animals up in there with him. Shut the door. All right, read on.
But you see how far that Israel have fallen from grace to the Most High when in time past the Most High dealt directly with our forefathers. Mm-hmm. And it said that Abraham and all these men would walk, where they were considered friends of the Most High. And the Most High spoke to them and revealed things to them. Okay, now we gotta hear about things, or some others may have a dream or interpretation. Okay, but they were actually connected with the Most High where He was showing them things plainly. So that's how far gone, okay, that we are straight away from the Most High. But what can bring us back to that perfection? We'll read about it by applying the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and the Most High will open up that communication between you and Him where He will show you things plain. That's why when this Messiah spoke to the disciples, He said, what? Unto you is given the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
See, a lot of things out there, you know, is a mystery. It's sealed. They can't understand. You might, it's like we're looking at this sign here, we see it's 3 different colors. Somebody else might look and say, listen, it's just one color. They just can't get it. 2/3 of our people are not, the only thing they're going to get is death. Okay? It's for those of us that are here to apply these commandments. Okay? We had David told the Most High, we got a fresh start. Okay? We should be multiplying our talents. You should be asking yourself in your mind, where do I go from here with my spirit? You went to the Feast of Tabs, you went to David told me, you went to these back-to-back holy days. What are you going to do at this point? How am I going to get myself ready in these last days? Because it's here. The nations know it's here. We had a blood moon during the time of Feast of Tabs. These are signs for us to let us know that we got to what? We got to get ourselves ready. Again, the nations, their destiny is already sealed. We don't need to worry about it. They're going into slavery. What are you going to do as a Hebrew Israelite that have taken back you took back your identity? It was taken from us. That's why the scriptures say what? The saints of Most High, they're going to do what? We're going to take the king. We're not going to get it by gold. And Esau's not just going to give it to us.
Gold is sin.
Okay? We're going to have to take this kingdom. But are we ready? Are we ready? We're not ready. Okay, we still trying to live a nice life in America. Moshe, he's up there furious. He's walking back and forth, waiting to avenge those that crucified him. Okay? With all the holy angels that he has is going to come with him. He said 10,000 times 10,000. Just imagine that. They show you in their Esau shows you in his movies, when they show you things about aliens invading the earth, those are the holy angels of Yah. They used to have a TV show years ago called V.
Yeah.
It showed you how they had the alien infiltrating in society. They started working in stores, they were bank lawyers, all kind of stuff.
Alienation.
Right.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, they were infiltrating, taking over the earth. Okay? We are about to take back this kingdom. But we got to get ourselves ready. Okay, we got to stop, having envy, jealousy, strife, being crabs in the barrel. We should always want better for our brothers and sisters before our own self. A lot of us can't even fathom that. A lot of us on that individualism, I got mine, you get yours. You got to get past that. Okay, we got to get past that. If you really want to make it to this kingdom, we got to start acting like it. Okay, that lip service is not going to make it. Okay, Esau is going to start. He's going to start being manifest himself more and more. Okay, and guess who's their spokesperson? Donald Trump. Okay, he's the spokesperson for all the white people that want to say something, but they scared or they don't have a platform. Okay, so he's got the money, he's got the platform, he's got the ball. He'll tell you straight up in your face. Somebody put a video out the other day. He was in some kind of function. This black woman she almost broke her back to try to
shake his hand.
He can acknowledge her.
You know that shit.
And he felt like a half an hour later, he looked over and patted her on the head like a good puppy. Okay? Our people love the oppressor. Okay? They love the oppressor. Okay? More than they love their own self. Okay? The master he's sick. They say, what? We sick, master? Okay, we got to get out of that. I was talking to a brother the other day. He's always coming here. He comes with that John 3:16. I said, brother, you hate your people, don't you? Did somebody do you wrong in Israel? Is it, somebody, borrow money from you, never paid you back something? I'm like, you so concerned about the other nation.
Okay. God, man.
The Messiah said what? Let the children first be fed. Okay, then we might give them a couple of crumbs like they give us the crumbs. Why are we so concerned about the other nations concerned about us? Do the Negroes, Western Haitians, do we have a seat in the United Nations building? Yes or no? So who cares about the affairs of our people? So why should we care about them? Okay, come. Open up what?
Beauty supply stores.
Right.
And how those people that help them come in at first, get the stuff, and as soon as they got situated, they closed off the market stores. And they won't tell us where any suppliers are or anything like that.
Yeah, we can't get in that deep in that market at all. Is it Koreans?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's already Koreans.
Koreans? Okay. Yeah. I know that the Arabs got a deep well when it comes to that. And locking off all the supplies. You can't get the yaki. What's call that here? You can't get the yaki put through them cats. They got thing on lockdown. All right, and all that other stuff they selling there. But they totally and what is the trip is that is how people using the product. But you can't get the wholesale product. You got to get it from them. And I'll be the one using the product. You know what I mean? All the products, really. You know what I mean? Elegant Beauty in these places. Who's shopping in there? You know, you saw walking up in Elegant Beauty. What do you see? You see Jay.
That's Eve because she bought a perm to put a perm in her hair. Now her hair is jacked up. Now she got to buy fake hair to cover the damaged hair.
This is it's an endless cycle. Endless cycle.
And you see the story. These women they hear of other women's stories, horror stories. They put a perm in their hair. Their hair fell out. God damn it! They had to boil their heads to start all over again. And another black woman put a perm in her hair again. Okay, we see these things are not for our people. Okay, the Most High gave us natural beauty. The other nations desire to look like us. You see them with the Botox. Okay, they're in the they got the tanning salons. The tanning is a billion-dollar industry. Billion-dollar industry. But what a lot of people do? Bleach out skin, contact lenses. Okay, you eat with green eyes. Like, come on. One chick I saw, she had yesterday had a pink wig on. So these are things that our people are doing.
Halloween.
Okay, they are pre-Halloween. Some people now wait for October 31st. They getting in it early.
Halloween all year long.
Okay, they're getting in it early. So we got to come back to wisdom and understanding the Most High. Okay, we are Hebrew Israelites. You know, I was driving. I was admiring the Muslims. Okay, what does the word Muslim mean? What does Muslim mean? Huh? One who submits to the ultimate power, right? So now, even though they're in a false religion, look at them. They got themselves together, the way they dress and present themselves. Okay, you would never see a Muslim guy. He's got a bean pot, but guess what? He's got a suit on, tie. I mean, that's not our cook, but you know, he's presentable. He's clean.
But the reality is, you know, Israel, we the salt of the earth.
Right.
All right, we made Islam what it is today. Right? If you look at the real Muslims, those Arab cats, they don't get down when Jake started following after their ways. We gave their culture a spice, you know, and order. But we just don't want to serve our power. But before so-called Negro became a Muslim, they weren't doing nothing. They weren't doing nothing. Right? We don't dress. They dress in their what they call those in their sheets, and they be out there. If you go out to Egypt, it's a mess. Man. It's horrible, horrible the way they live. Not till we get amongst these things. We make all these religions what they are. Because we put our spirit in them when we get there. But we got to put our spirit in this truth, friend. That's what we got to do.
Right, we got to make sure, you know, we are doing ourselves.
That's it.
We are doing ourselves, you know, make sure we comb our hair. Like, basic, like when I first started the Troopers program here, and the cat was making fun of me, basic things about, you know, brushing your teeth and all, you know, you might laugh and say, but, you know, when I was coming up as a young man, we actually had to teach brothers
Smell check.
Brush their teeth, comb their hair, okay? You laugh, but these are things that we had to teach young men. Mm-hmm. They weren't taught that at home. Okay, put on deodorant. Okay, none of that natural stuff you coming in. Okay, so these are things, you know, we laugh, but we had to teach people that. Okay, so it's a learning process. Okay, we are kings and queens in exile, but now we got to reestablish ourselves. When the nations see you and Israel see you, they what? They must see what? The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yah. But they can't see it if you got your life dead. You got to magnify the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, magnify His kingdom. Give them a sample of what to look for in the kingdom. They should be honored to serve you. I went on an inspection the other day with a so-called Jew. So he emailed me. He's like, "Oh, it was a pleasure meeting you," because he actually had a sukkah in his backyard. He had a tree house, and his children in sukkah in the tree house. You know, so they saw me. They was amazed. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, we are the salt of the earth. He saw a different flavor of Torah when he saw it. You know what I'm saying? But they're not used to seeing people, you know, our people doing this. Because why? For so many years they were taught that what? They were the Jews. That's why you have this book called, and this is by a so-called Jew, Shlomo Sand, The Invention of Jewish People. Okay, the invention of Jewish people. When you read the Torah and the Bible, there's no mention of Jewish people. Okay, so you have their own, just like the guy that wrote the book, the 13th Tribe. After he wrote that book, he disappeared off the coast. They killed him.
Of course. Bagged him.
Okay, so you go on YouTube now, you have dozens of white people that are coming out of the woodworks admitting that we are the real Jews and Israelites according to the Bible. Even though they're repeating the same thing we say, but our people don't take our word. When they hear the white man, E.M. Hutton, when he talks, everybody listens. When he talks, everybody listens. They say the same thing we say, but a watered down version. So we tell them that what? That the Jewish people was an invention. They don't want to hear from us. They want to hear it from the oppressor. Okay, we got to get ourselves right. We got to get ourselves right. We got to make that light shine before men that our Father is glorified, which is in heaven. Okay? What are we doing for the Day of Atonement, for the Feast of Tabernacles? Okay, each time we should be perfecting ourselves in this law.
You got a dedication coming up. That's an opportunity for you to do great things in our sight of the Most High, son. So we want to glorify this dedication this year, son. Your words.
Was that a K.A. and a C.O.M.A.? Which one? We'll see. We're gonna put together committees. We're gonna have things set up. Okay. People are gonna be responsible for certain events and putting certain things together to glorify the Most High's holy day. You did it when you said, everybody took part in Christmas when you was in the world. You was a square if you wasn't there. Okay, they talked about you if you didn't show up. Or if you came without a gift. Or if you didn't stand under the mistletoe. Okay. What kind of madness we were into. But some of our children are growing up not having to go through these things. Okay, that's a blessing. Some of us we got years and years of contamination that we're getting out of our systems. Okay.
Let's finish in Matthew 24. Verse
24 and
38.
38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken, and the other left.
That's right. So what? Just like in the days of Noah, we read about the days of Noah, you learn how the day of the Most High gonna be. The people were just going about doing their wickedness, doing whatever they were doing. Right? Had no cares or fears of the Most High. And then Noah entered into the ark. Right? So we know that our day is gonna be that same way. We're gonna be here doing the work of the Most High. That people gonna be out there scorning. The scorning is still gonna be scorning. Right? The righteous still gonna be righteous, but then the Most High is on the scene. You're not gonna have time to prepare. So that's why you always gotta be living every day like you're manifesting the kingdom of heaven. Because you never know when that day is coming about. Huh? Back to Noah. We're in chapter 7 of Genesis. And verse 10. Genesis 7
and 10. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark.
Right.
They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto the ark, and they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as the Most High had commanded him. And the Most High shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased, and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth.
Right, so the water rose, and the water rose so quickly, because it's coming from in the earth and coming from the rain from the top, that the ark was risen off the earth quickly, as the water became deep upon the earth. Right?
And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth,
right?
And every man.
Come on.
All in whose nostrils was the breath of life. Of all that was in the dry land died.
Right, so all that was on dry land died. What else died?
And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground.
Right, so every living substance that was on the ground destroyed. The fowls were destroyed. Okay, Central. Did we?
Huh? So why are you waiting now?
No, we didn't. What are you talking about? And the waters prevailed and was increased greatly upon the earth. We read that.
You read that. Are you bearing false witness up?
19, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all of the high. No, we didn't read 19. Just didn't read 19.
Skip 19.
That's it. Yeah, read 19.
I'm not claiming 3 verses. 19. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth,
right?
And all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered.
Right.
15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered.
Right. 15 cubits upward from the highest peak was the water prevail. So that's how high the water was. Okay, read on.
And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both the fowl and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth in 150 days.
150 days, the water prevailed. That means the earth was underwater for 150 days. Okay. So this is why all fowls, all it that dwelled upon dry land was destroyed, was killed. Okay. All right, let's read on.
8th chapter. Genesis 8 and verse 1. And the Most High remembered Noah and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And the Most High made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the water was abated. And the earth rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
Right.
And Ararat is known to be what? The tallest mountain on the earth. Okay. So they had Esau had scientists that they said they found the ark, they tried to chisel it and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you still have people that say that what the Noah's Ark was a myth, it never happened. Okay, just like they found what? The chariots of Pharaoh under the sea. Okay, they got them up in the museum. Okay, the brothers just came back from Zion, you know, the brother, I know the brother Yehoshua, the one with the dreads out there in Zion, he was part of the excavation team that found certain artifacts. And when they found these things, they shut the whole place down, they got rid of them, and they took some of those stuff they found and put it in the museum. Okay, so a lot of stuff that we know of, things happen. The brother's very knowledgeable in archaeology. A lot of the actual locations in Israel, he knows where he actually found Golgotha, where the Messiah was actually crucified. Okay, he took us to these sites. Okay, we know where the real Jerusalem is.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these things that when you go on these tours over there in Israel, they take you to all these Hollywood locations. Okay, but when you actually look at these scriptures and put things together, it can't be possible where they actually say these places are. Okay, they took us to Sodom and Gomorrah, we went to the Jordan River, and all these, it's a beautiful thing. When you actually read about these places, okay, you're actually there. Actually in Jordan River, actually in the Dead Sea, or as the Live Sea. Okay? So these are things you should aspire to look for. It's not expensive. Okay? Tickets, all these other, you have tickets to the Caribbean, other places that actually cost more to go to Zion. The fare now to go to Zion is like $600-700. Okay, that's not expensive at all. Just like you're out in the world, you had your Christmas fund. The day after Christmas, you start putting money aside for next year Christmas. Okay, you can do the same thing. A Zion fund. Okay. Passport is 100. How many years I was getting on your captain to get your passport? Okay, passport is $120. Okay, get your passport. Scripture say what? A man that travels abroad does what? Gathers much wisdom. Okay, so this is what you gotta aspire to. What? Gathering wisdom. Going to different places. The different tribes that the Most High gave us. Okay, learn about the rest of your family. Your family's just not here in Florida. Your family's just not in your tribe. Okay, you have 12 tribes that make up the nation. Okay, get to know your internal family. There's no reason to marry outside your nation because you got different flavors within the whole nation. Okay? You don't want to speak English all day, get one of those from the northern tribes. Speak a little Espanol. Okay, you got Levi with the Creole. Okay, so these are the different things that the Most High, gave us. Okay. Israel's got the flavor. The scriptures said we are what? We are the salt of the earth. But now what's happened? We have lost our savor. We got to get it back again. Okay, the nations are actually, they are longing for us to take back rulership. Because they see the condition, they see the declining of America, they see what it's coming to. They know that there's no future unless the real Jews and Israelites take back over rulership power. Okay? All these people walk around now and say, Donald Trump, he's going to lead us into the Third World War. The Third World War is inevitable. Okay? This has to happen in order to reestablish, the real Jews and Israelites, the real children of the Most High back into power. We can't continue to be in this condition forever. But again, are we ready? Are we ready to be kings and queens of the earth, to rule this earth in righteousness? Are we ready? We make excuses for the Shabbat day. Okay, people say, I gotta work. No, you don't gotta work. You voluntarily go to work. Okay? We have the letters set up for you to get off on the Sabbath. But what happens when you go to your job for an interview? They say, well, what days are you available to work? Oh, I can work 7 days a week. I'm available 24 hours a day.
5 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Just give me a job.
I just need a job, sir.
I was speaking to a brother the other day. He was like, you know what? The brother was, prior, he was complaining to me, he had financial problems. He said he was praying for a job. And he got a job. Now he got a job that he's constantly working. I said, brother, it's one thing to pray for a job, but you pray for a job that you were able to keep Torah, you're able to keep the Sabbath. Just like when we read the scriptures, the Most High is precise. He said, this many cubits, this long, that long. He's very precise. He said, when you pray the Most High, can you bless you with a job that I can keep the Sabbath? Okay, a lot of people reach out to me for letters for the Sabbath that I've given letters to. I don't see them here, but they are all for the Sabbath. Okay, I'm not going to say no names. Okay, they probably took the letters so they could go to a one-day Macy's sale. Okay. But the Most High sees that. Okay? The Most High sees that. But don't come here and tell me, oh, you got to work on the Sabbath. A brother came the other day crying to me, telling me, oh, brother, I got to get another job. At first, when he was elated when he got that job. His paycheck was looking nice. But then he realized he's losing himself now. After a while, you lose yourself when you put your spirit into Esau's system, into his job, into his workforce. Okay, you gotta, in Demona, in Israel, they have a common law within the community that is 20 hours maximum per week that you can go work for Esau. You cannot work more than 20 hours for your oppressor. It is proven that working less time for Esau, lengthens your lifespan to live. When I was working at American Express, I would see people actually be carried out on stretchers, having a heart attack, hypertension. They on this medication, that medication. You know most of it. You see it. Okay? One of his co-workers every day, can you pray for me to hit the lotto? Can you tell the priest to say a prayer so I can hit the lotto? A lot of you praying for money, and you know that if you get some money, you're gonna be the hell out of Dodge. So the Most High purposely gives you what? Your daily bread. Because he knows if you hit the line, we want him to see you again. You probably want him to send us a postcard. Okay? So just be content with the Most High gave you. Because the Most High loves you, that's why he doesn't give you that money you asked him for. That's right. Okay? Let's go back. Where am I, Chef Sean? Genesis 8, verse 3. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, when the top of the mountain seen. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth.
Right. So the raven went, flew. There was no place for him to land. He flew back to the boat. So that was like a check. Right? So he was sending the raven out to fly, and if it come back, well, there's no place for the raven to land. But if you set him out and you don't come back, then we know what? They found a place to perch, right?
I was going to say something. At this point, we know that the new moon was given to him around Exodus 12th chapter. I was able to understand each month. If they didn't, if
right.
we know in the scriptures, we don't know anything about the new moon until like maybe Exodus.
Well, yeah, we established that we had a law
right.
for the time of Adam. So we knew the moons, we knew the days.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So obviously he knew the moons, or else it couldn't be the 17th month.
Right.
Right. What day?
7 months.
7th month, right?
Right.
Couldn't be the 7th month because they didn't know when the moon was.
Right.
So we had the concept of moons and months, right?
Ninth verse. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf.
Right.
Pluck it off.
Right. So now what? The trees are starting to reveal themselves from under the water. So he understood the water was going down because he brought back the olive. Right? Come on.
So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, and returned not again until him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
Right.
And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry. And the Most High spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth.
They what?
That they may breed abundantly in the earth.
Right. So what? They multiply. Fill back the earth. They breed abundantly. Come on.
And be fruitful and multiply upon the earth.
Uh-huh.
And Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah built an altar unto the Most High, and took up every clean beast.
Took a what?
Every clean beast.
He built an altar and took up every clean beast. So he understood the clean. Read.
And of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar.
And stand up offerings, burnt offerings. All right. So we understood that. Sometimes people say, "Oh, we didn't eat meat," or "We didn't do this." We understood clean from unclean from the beginning.
He ain't offered no swine's flesh.
That's right. Right. We understood what animals were to be offered. But not every clean beast can be offered, Con. There are certain animals that can be offered to the Most High. All right, such as bullock, lamb, turtle dove. But you can't. A young calf can be offered, but you can't offer up, a deer unto the Most High. But you can eat it, Con. But that was not a meat that can be offered up to the Father. Okay, we know.
21. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor. And the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done.
Right. So the imagination of a man's heart is what? Is evil from his youth. Give me Mark 7:20. Come on, 7:20.
The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 20. And he has said that which cometh out of the man that defileth the man, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
Proceed what?
Evil thoughts.
Right, we learned that from Genesis. Nothing's changed. All the way in the book of Mark. Nothing has changed about man's heart. It's evil. Your thoughts, your eyes, your ideas, your aspirations are evil in the sight of the Most High. Okay? That's why you can't even trust yourself. If you don't have commandment to govern yourself, you will just be wicked. Anybody understand that? The nature of man and woman is to be wicked. We have to be taught righteousness. We have to be shown that our hearts are geared towards the evils of this world. Okay, read on.
Adulteries,
Uh-huh.
fornication,
Come on.
murders,
Right?
thefts,
Come on.
covetousness,
Read.
wickedness,
Come on.
deceit,
Come on.
lasciviousness,
Lasciviousness. Right?
an evil eye,
Come on.
blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All evil things come from within and defile the man.
That's what's in your heart. Okay? All that's already in you. You can run this test. I always run this test. You got children. You ever got to teach your children the wrong thing to do? They already know. Where are they learning? Right? You got to teach children the right thing to do. They're going to do something. They're going to do some wickedness. Unless you teach them the right way, they're going to go the wrong way. All on there automatically. Why? Because it's in their heart. Okay?
So, 1716.
17:16. All right, before I get that, let me get Jeremiah 17:9. Let me get Jeremiah 17:9. Then I get that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things.
Right, not only is it wicked, but it's deceitful. What does that mean? It will fool you. It will think that you're doing right. And all the while, you're doing the wrong thing. You think you're doing something righteous, and all the while, you're being wicked. Because why? It's deceitful. Right? Read on.
And desperately wicked.
And desperately wicked. Read on.
Who can know it?
Like who knows your heart? Read on.
I, Yahweh, search the heart.
The Most High has searched the heart. Read on.
I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways.
Come on.
And according to the fruit of his doings.
And the fruit of his doings. He tried the reins. He knows how your heart works. That's why he gave us instruction. He's saving us from ourselves. Okay. And what you had, 17?
We can get on Ecclesiastes 11:9 first. Ecclesiastes 11:9.
What, no sense against a wicked act? 11:9?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 11:9. 9. They didn't get that so out. 11:9.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, verse 9. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things Yahweh will bring thee into judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh. For childhood and youth are vanity.
Right, so going into childhood, right? So even children, when they're young, they got to be mindful of, following after their own ways, their own heart. And when you're young, what you think and what you want is so important to you, right? You don't want to be told that you can't do this and not to do that. Because what's in your mind, what you think you want is you got it all mapped out, right? But it's not true. You can't trust in that. As children, you have to learn not to trust your own mind, but get instruction. Trust the instruction that you're given. If you want to do something one way and you're being instructed another way, you gotta trust the instruction. Okay, you can't lean upon your own understanding, like the scripture says. And you gotta be taught. You gotta be molded to go the right way. When you start thinking, a lot of times people get high in this society. They say, well, just do what's in your heart. Yeah, do whatever you like. Whatever you want to do. That is a satanic mentality. Okay? Because Satan will let you believe that you're the master of everything. That you're the God. That you don't have to worry about the Most High. Do what you want to do. What you feel like doing. Okay? Give me 17 and
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 16, page 80. The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 16. Every man from his youth is given to evil.
Right.
Neither can they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stony.
That's right. You can't make fleshly hearts for stony. What's a fleshly heart? A heart that does what? What is a fleshly heart? Is a fleshly heart good or bad? No, a fleshly heart is good. A stony heart is bad. Read the verse again. I got to ask the question. Wait. Read it again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 16. Every man from his youth is given to evil.
Every man from his youth is given to evil. Okay, so evil is there. It's already in there. All right, read on.
Neither can they make to themselves fleshy hearts.
You can't make your heart fleshly. Your heart got to be made right through the commandments. A fleshly heart is a good heart. A heart that can be what? It's going to go the way of the Most High. You can't make it that way on your own. You gotta receive the Most High. He gonna make your heart flesh, that you can receive instruction. The opposite of a fleshy heart is what? Read on.
For stony.
For stony is a stone, hard heart. As I say, you're hard-headed. You stubborn. Right? You don't want to hear. That's a hard heart. Okay? So a fleshy heart is a soft heart, meaning what? You can hear, you could be instructed. Right? You can be molded. A hard heart, right, is like a hard head. Right? You don't want to hear instruction. You already know already. Somebody try to tell you something, you already know. If you already know that, you can't be taught. Your cup is full. You can't, nothing can be added to you. So we want to make sure we have what? A fleshly heart. You understand that? Right? That's what you're looking to have, a fleshly heart, not a stony, a hard heart. All right? The hard heart leads us to destruction and wickedness. Okay.
Just to land me back off the medicine, give me Proverbs 14 and 12. Proverbs 14, verse 12.
That's right.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12.
Come on.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Right, so that's what I talk about later upon your understanding. You may think something is right, what you're doing, okay, but what do we use to know we're right or wrong? What source? Huh? What do we relate to? Right. The Bible, best instructions before leaving earth. Read that again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Right, the end thereof are the ways of what? Or death. So that's why we must be constantly in this Torah, making sure we're doing things accordingly, the right way that the Most High has put it in our spirit to do. From the beginning, we're in what? Genesis. So what we're reading, this time we read about what? The Most High told Noah, bring in what? Male and female. Okay? Not female and female.
That's out of the heart of man, man.
Okay? That's out of the heart of man, right? Their vain imagination. So read that verse again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Right. Come on.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
All right, so you got to look at Madonna. Always adopting black children. Okay. What do they do? There was some white star. She went to Haiti. She adopted a boy and got him looking like a girl. Why don't you just adopt a girl? Okay, they adopt these children so they can do what? They pervert them. So there's no white children they can adopt. But you know what? But Donna, she knows that what? That we are the salt of the earth. This is what a lot of them do. And they use it as what? As a shield. As a a way into the kingdom or against some blessing. Okay, but the Most High told us not to do what? To make any covenant with these other nations. But this is modern day slavery. What do they do in slavery? They took our children away from us, okay, shipped them off to another plantation. And as I've been doing the prison ministry, there's a lot of cases of brothers and sisters being locked up in jail for saying that they neglected their children. So they take them from them, send them to some white family. This white family is getting foster parent money because those foster parents get paid a lot of money. They pay them a couple of $1,000s a month to take care of these children. What's that comedian? Who was that comedian? She was on that movie. She was on that movie, huh? No, I won't be going right. She's a young one. She's in that movie. They just Queen Latifah and some others. Yeah, Girls Trip. And she's a stand-up comedian. She was in that movie, but she's a comedian. What's her name?
Wanda Sykes.
Huh? Tiffany? Yeah. And she did a skit the other day. She was showing she's worth a lot of money because the state pays the people a lot of money to take care of her. She got lawyers, she got psychiatrists, they invest a lot of money in her. Okay, so a lot of people get paid. They got psychiatrists, they got social workers. Okay, all these, they have all these things that utilized for this one child. You got lawyers involved, social workers, you got all psychiatrists involved. They give them stipends for the foster family. So all this money is put out. Okay? But we got to get out of this. We got to come back to the Most High. This is why this place is upside down, because what? America is missing Torah. If Torah was uplifted, we wouldn't have all these problems. You wouldn't have broken up families and all these things like that. Drugs, flocka, okay, crack. Okay? We're in this community, we see a lot of that in this community. Drugs, prostitution, homosexuality, bestiality. Okay, but slowly but surely, this is transition because that spirit of the Most High is going out. Okay, now and then you see, people that in the community come by and they get, they get purged of the wickedness that goes on in this community. Okay, so that's why we're here, to transform what we see going on in this community. That is the purpose of the Bible. That's instructed before leaving earth, to cleanse our people, okay, for the things that they're into. Right. Okay, that is the purpose of Torah, to make us new again. So
we establish in the heart.
All
right, it's desperately wicked, evil. We got to stay away from our own thoughts, our own mind, lean not upon our own understanding, but be instructed. And it was like that from the beginning, from the time of Noah. Let's go back to, let's read that 22nd verse. We're at 8 and 22 in Genesis.
Genesis 8, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 8 and 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Right,
so as the earth remaineth, there will always be what? Seasons. All right, there'll be the cold time, the hot time, which is the summer and the winter. In between they get the fall and the spring. There'll always be daytime and nighttime. None of these things will cease from after this flood. Okay, so at this point, we're going to take the break. We're about to start chapter 9. We'll take a half an hour break. It's now 3:03. We'll come together at 3:30 and finish up the portion. Cut? Hallelujah.